All right, boom, we are back. I keep saying boom, but this is day 13, and we are going over understanding what they mean and not what's said. So you're probably thinking, what do you mean understanding what they mean but not what's said? Okay, I'm gonna give you an example. Off the rip, we're getting straight into it. If you're say closing someone for a fitness program and they go, yeah, I mean, I want to be healthy. Okay, that's what's said. What do they mean? Why does that sentence exist of them wanting to be healthy? What's behind that? So you have to dig deep and obviously break it down and interpret what they mean. So yeah, I want to be healthy, 100%, bro. I mean, like when you say being healthy, like what does that mean exactly, right? Because being healthy could be looking good, being healthy could be eating right. Like what is healthy exactly? Oh, bro, like honestly, like if I could just look good, have proper diet, just be there for my friends and family like that. That's being healthy. 100%. Like those are all good goals. Obviously, and they tend to being healthy. Like for you personally, like why though? Like, cause you don't have to be healthy, right? Some people eat like shit, right? Some people just train, they look good, but internally they are unhealthy. Why does it matter for you to be healthy? Because I just want to be there for my kids and family in the long run. Like longevity health is the biggest reason to it. Because again, I want to see my kids graduate, have their own kids. I want to be a grandpa one day, and I want to live as long as possible. So boom, from I want to be healthy, that's why I'm getting coaching. To I want to live as long as possible and be there for my family and friends and kids. That is what's meant, and I want to be healthy. What was said. So understand that throughout these calls that you do have, prospects mean a lot more than what they actually say to you. Because understand, like people are vulnerable; they're not going to tell you everything about them off the rip. They don't know you, so people try to hide away, their vulnerable goals. But it's your job as the closer to dig deeper. Find out what they actually mean between it. So, like that's an example of understanding what they mean, not what's said. And the core principle of it too is prospects speak in logic but decide in emotion. Right, words are the surface, meaning is underneath. I'm telling you, like the whole point of sales is to understand emotions and become a human psychological therapist. I said it wrong, but it's okay. Your job isn't to answer objections, attack them for it. It's to interpret it and help them uncover more about themselves. So number one, separate words from intent. Never respond directly to the sentence. Respond to the reason the sentence exists. Right. For example, I need to think about it. Okay. Yeah, 100%. You want to think about it. What does this mean? Why are you saying this, right? Because if I ask, what's the cost of this entire program? Why am I asking that, right? That can mean so many multiple things, you know. Like for example, if someone was asking me like, what's kind of the price with all this before we get involved, 100%, bro. Right, I would pre-handle that smoke screen objection. I'll kind of kind of fade away from that answer. I would still answer it obviously, but the way I would do is like after I answer, it's like yeah, 100%, bro. I mean, like for you personally, like what's the reason of asking? Right? Simply just being upfront because it's about the money. And then from there, he's like, oh, you know what? I just want to make sure I could afford it. Bills are a little tight right now, right? The reason why he's asking what is the price is because there's something down beneath that he wants to know that's triggering him to ask that question. And that's what you want to understand. You want to understand what they mean by what they say and not what's actually said. So possible meanings of I need to think about it, fear of making the wrong decision, missing clarity on ROI, low emotional safety, not fully bought into the outcome, right? Because if you want to think about a program or think about anything, what are you going to think about? The pros, the cons, how it's going to benefit you, if it benefits you, how much it's worth, right? So many things that you have to take into consideration that makes you want to think about it. So understand, what do they want to think about internally, and what do they mean by let me just think about it? What's holding them back, right? Rule is treat every objection as data, not resistance. Understand that it's not your job to defend yourself when you hear an objection. You're supposed to ease into the objection, right? You have to go with the flow of the objection because the objection is it's coming at you while you're trying to go over here, right? So if you're like this, so this is the objection, this is you, right? You can't go at it because you are the unstoppable force and this is the immovable object, right? Hypothetically. So you can't attack an objection with head on. Like you literally need to ease into it, right? So understand that throughout every objection you do get, it's your job as the closer or setter to just understand why. Why are they giving this objection? Did I miss out on a few things? What's the cause of it, right? Number two is listen for emotional markers, not content, right? Elite closers track how something is said. Signals to notice, for one, slower pace, over explaining, short answers, repeated objections. Oh my God. The amount of people that I've seen try to handle an objection and they keep getting the same objection is because they did not resolve the emotion, right? Understand that if someone is talking about how they are scared of getting scammed and they keep bringing it up, like that's the only objection they keep coming back to, is because you have not resolved the emotion or the emotional feeling behind them getting scammed, right? Why do they feel like they're going to get scammed? Why do they think they're going to get scammed, right? What in their head makes them believe that they are going to get scammed or this could be a scam, right? An unresolved emotion. Because again, we make decisions and the way we think are based off emotions, right? Because if think of getting scammed, lose out on money, time, whatever it might be. If there was no loss to a scam, like say it was like if it's a free program, if it's a free program and you make no results in it, is it a scam? No, it only makes it a scam because you lose something in return. So emotionally, they don't want to lose anything, right? Because they're stuck over that mindset. Short answers mean disengagement. They're not interested. You want to have them be engaged within the conversation. Over explaining, self justification. Oh my God. Oh my God. The amount of times that I would see a lot of my students let people just talk and yap over the call. No, stop them because they're trying to justify their own actions by talking over you and over explaining because they think that more is better. And if you had more, you could justify it. No, that's not true. Cut your prospects off because again, they are trying to make themselves feel better about their own actions when in reality you are not supposed to make them feel good. They have to feel ashamed and bad about what they've done because it's the action they've taken for the past X, Y, and Z months that had led them in this moment looking for help on a call. So understand that you cannot let anybody over explain. And a slower pace is uncertainty. And I'll give you an example. I mean, like, yeah, man. I mean, everything sounds good. Like, I'm definitely interested in doing it. Right? I'm not certain about this shit, so I'm talking slow. So understand these few things that you have to pick up on calls, right? If logic repeats, emotion has not been addressed. Number 3 is decode common high ticket statements, right? Use this mindset. If they say it's expensive, they just don't trust the value because look, this toothbrush is these sunglasses. I know the toothbrush. This toothbrush is 4K. Would you buy it? No. Again, you guys wouldn't buy this shit. If this gave you $50 each time you used it, without a doubt, a lot of you would buy this because you'd make your ROI back, right? So you trust the value in this toothbrush. So if they tell you it's too expensive, they don't trust the value when you have to offer. I've tried something like this before. I'm afraid to be disappointed again. Yeah, man. Like everything sounds good. Like I'll be honest too. Like I've tried this before, right? They've been let down. They've been let down, and that's what they mean by when they say I've tried something like this before. It's your job again to dig deeper on what they have tried, where it went wrong, and solve that issue for them. I need to talk to my partner. I don't feel safe owning the decision alone. Whenever someone says they want to talk to their partner, it's because they are scared of spending money. Simple truth, and that's it. They're scared to spend the money, and that's just kind of overcoming the spouse objection and then handling the real issue behind it, right? Spending the money. Send me the info. I'm overwhelmed or checking out politely. If they're telling you send me the info, they are checked out. They don't care. They probably don't want to go through with it. But it's kind of your job again to dig deep. Like, yeah, I'm 100% I can know the info right now. At the same time, too, I'm right here in front of you. If you want any more clarification, please go ahead and ask me. Right? Okay. And if they say, oh, no, I don't have any more questions, bet. I mean, so as far as everything goes, like, with what we have to offer, you feel like, we can help you get to your X, Y, and Z goals. Yeah, 100%. I bet. I mean, the only next step, is getting you involved or getting you on board. And that's when they'll give an objection and you handle it and you close them. So don't ever send anybody the info or an email. Fuck that. And then now is not the right time. This person doesn't have any sense of urgency or any emotional compelling reason to start. That's because you didn't do your job psychologically understanding them and implementing with their own problems in their face. So there's no urgency there, right? Never argue the surface, address the meaning behind it. My bad, I was looking at a text message. Number 4 is label the emotion to lower resistance. People relax when they feel seen. So structure it, acknowledgement, label, pause, right? And I'll give you an example of it, right? So someone just tells me, like some fucking, I don't know, like they tell me, yeah, you know what, bro, honestly, like I just felt like, I just haven't been the person that I want to be. 100%, bro. I mean, like, if you don't mind me asking, like, what kind of makes you feel that way, right? Acknowledge what they said, right? Then label it. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, bro, like I just feel like every time I want to do something, I just don't end up doing it. 100%, bro. So it just sounds like you kind of have these goals. You're just kind of missing like the blueprint to follow in, right? So you're labeling their issue because you want to make it seem like you know about them, you know their issue. Because if they feel like you know their issue, they could trust you enough to solve it. And then pause, right? Let them react, let them take it in, and let them explain themselves. And then from there, again, totally fair No, that's how you kind of label it, right? That's an example of a label. This reduces defensiveness, builds trust, and invites honesty. That's the whole point of a call, is to build trust, lower their guard, and invite them, invite honesty. Because if you can have a truthful prospect, you're going to close more deals. The biggest problem with people closing deals is that they allow their prospects to lie. If they lie once, they lie twice. They lie twice, they lie three times. If they lie three times, they lie four times, five times. If you catch one lie, you call them out, they won't lie again. So call out bullshit when you see it. Number 5 is ask clarifying questions that reveal the truth. Don't ask why questions, ask safety-based questions, right? Example, what would you need to do to feel confident about moving forward, right? What part feels unclear or risky? What makes the decision, feel heavy? Don't ask if they say, I don't know, but it kind of feels risky. Why? Right? You can't ask that, like what part, right? Because whatever is measurable is manageable. Whatever is manageable is improvable. So when you can understand what the cause of the issue is, you can handle it and clear that. The goal is not persuasion, it's clarity. Again, people buy when they know and they understand. They don't buy when they're being forced into a corner. People want information, they want clarity. They want to know what the fuck they're buying. I wouldn't buy a car knowing I didn't know details about it. So like understand that you have to do this as a rep. You have to. Number 6, respond to meaning, then re-anchor the value. Once the meaning is clear, respond directly to that, right? So if meaning equals fear of failure, do not explain the features, right? Say what's different in this time. What's different this time is the support and structure. You're not doing this alone, right? Because again, for the past 6 months of us trying to do X, Y, and Z business model, right, we kind of held back on ourselves because we didn't know what we were doing, right? We didn't have the support of the community, the coaching calls. We didn't have a mentor in place, right? You want to literally re-anchor the value they're looking for, right? Always tie it back to their goal, their pain, their identity. Always, always, always. People buy things based off who they would make, what they would make them feel, or who it would make them be, right? So if I'm buying a Lamborghini, it's because I want to be an egotistical, like, yo, he got fucking bread, because that's kind of the thing I want to have. People do the same thing with what they're doing for the money, right? Hookers, OLED models, they're all SLUTS, which is why they do that. So that's their identity. Number 7 is silence is a tool. After labeling an emotion or asking a deep question, stop talking. Understand that silence creates emotional processing, ownership, and truth. Have you ever been like reprimanded or lectured, and every time they drop a bar, like from a teacher or elder, your mom, parents, they're just letting you soak it all in. You're like you're getting fucking nervous. You can't even respond properly. That's what you want to do. The first person to fill the silence loses leverage. That's when when you drop the price, you don't speak, because you won't let them soak it in. The first person to speak loses. The first one to give an offer loses. It's in every aspect of life. Um, Number 8 is let meaning guide the close. Closing is simply resolving the real concern. If the meaning is resolved, price stops being the issue and time becomes flexible. Decision energy increases, because again, if I have a problem and you solve my problem 100%, my problem is priceless, right? There was I would pay any amounts of money to solve this problem that's making me hate my life, right? So the price doesn't matter. Same with the toothbrush, right? It gives you $40. It gives you $50 each time back when you use it, right? That solves a problem that you might have of spending the money on it. Time becomes flexible, because again, if it's a real problem and they have the real concern solved and it's in front of them, right? They no longer have time to waste. There's a lot of urgency behind that. And again, decision, right? If they feel like you can solve the issue, they want to lean into it, right? Their decision energy increases. They're more likely to make a decision. If meaning isn't resolved, no amount of logic will ever close, because understand, people make decisions based off emotion and they use logic to protect themselves. Because again, people don't want to have a fragile ego. People don't want to be vulnerable. And that's fine. I mean, like, bro, think about it when you have a girlfriend or a boyfriend, right? They're not going to be super vulnerable in the beginning. You have to learn this person, understand them, right? Learn who they are as a person and a partner. And then from there, they start becoming emotional, right? Like, a quick example is like if you ever had a girlfriend or a boyfriend and they say, oh, like nothing's wrong, right? Oh, like, I'm fine. Nothing's wrong, right? How could you ever help them without understanding them first, right? Because again, keep in mind, people want to protect their vulnerability, their ego. They want to protect themselves from being, spoken about their emotions. Because people are very vague on it, right? People get uncomfortable about it. So people want to protect their uncomfortability and stay comfortable. And it's your job as a closer, a personal therapist, to understand them, right? Solve their problem and make money in the end of it. Because when your whole goal and intent is to help this person, you'll make the most money because if you're the best at what you do, then you get paid the best. But that's day 13, and I'm about to record day 14. So God bless you all, and God loves you.